What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Schmack Talk, and we got some breaking news as of Monday, 9:44 p.m. We have
It's breaking news, but we're not live. So when you hear this, it won't.
It'll be a few days. So you'll probably have heard about this by now. But John Gruden, no longer the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders due to some.
So weird to say Las Vegas.
I know.
It's Oakland. It's Oakland. Call them Oakland.
It's like, ugh. But yeah, so if you guys haven't heard the story, some emails were released from Mr. Gruden with some homophobic slurs, and also, that was some new ones that have been recently found. But the original one was regarding it was the NFL commissioner, right, at the time.
It was the NFLPA executive director, DeMaurice Smith. He directed at him. He was emailing somebody else. He did have, it says in the article, he did have vulgar comments towards Roger Goodell, but then again, who doesn't?
Yeah.
But his comments towards Mr. Smith, where he called, I shouldn't laugh at that. I'm sorry for that. He called his lips as large as Michelin tires.
Buddy.
And Mr. Smith is black, for any of you who not know that. So
yeah.
I don't know why you can't just say, well, he's got big lips. Like,
yeah, like.
So how does that come up in conversation? Like, why is somebody's lips?
What is that? Why does that have anything to do with it? Like, I don't message my.
I just sorry to cut you off. It says he called him Dumb Morris Smith.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that gets even worse. He called him Dumb Morris Smith. Okay.
But then, like, when the emails got released, he wasn't talking about, like, he wasn't making any comments to reporters regarding it, which just makes him look worse than, like, if he were to be like, yeah, that was released, I believe it was 2011. I've grown as a person since then, but he was just like, I'm not talking about this. And that's what
bothers the crap out of me.
Like from a PR perspective, that's just, you don't want that.
Not good
on your head coach there. Just because, like, he's kind of the head face of your organization to an extent. And if he's, bringing a lot of, like, negativity and, like, banter, racism and shit like that to, like, the team, like, you don't want that there. So, got to get rid of it. So, I mean, I was never like, oh, I love John Gruden, he's the GOAT, he's the best coach ever. Like, he was just kind of, oh, he's a coach. That's all I've kind of seen from him over the years. Like, and now this comes out and I'm like, all right, this dude's just kind of scummy. Especially with how he's handling the whole thing. Like,
he doesn't have to handle it anymore.
Yeah. And he probably won't coach again in the NFL, at least. Unless if, like, I don't even know. Like,
see, NFL is reporting that he resigned.
Okay.
So
I bet it was probably like a, hey, you can either resign or we're gonna fire you effective immediately.
Yeah, it was probably something like that.
Because I feel like,
honest,
unless, because, like, you see coaches go like, I'm retiring as of, like, this date. Like, I saw it with the Indians with Terry. He was just like, my health isn't where it needs to be, and I gotta take a leave from coaching. You understand that. But when you get into, like, oh, hey, some emails were released, you said some things, and then you resign as coach, I guarantee there's a lot of other pressure from the front office saying, hey, you need to either handle this or you need to, like, no longer be the coach here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like can't find any of the details of the other emails, like quotes that he said, partially because it's only 40 minutes old.
Yeah.
It does say homophobic, misogynist comments. So I think that on top of his already racist comments,
that's
he's done coaching in the NFL. I think he's done. Because especially with our society and culture today, they're not going to forget that at all.
Yeah.
Especially with it looking like this stuff came 11 years ago, they're not going to forget it.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like if he would have just handled it then, it would have been good. But he didn't, and he just was like, I'm not talking on this. So I feel like that just made it look even worse for him. And, that, like, it sucks that our culture is like that, but you also can't be making some of the comments that you're making, like, I mean, you got to be like respectful. Like, that's like, I don't know, like, especially how you word things. Like, that's one thing, like, you have jokes with like your friends and stuff, but like outside of that, like, if you're like, if you have emails regarding like your boss, I mean, technically, like, he would have been his like upper like boss to some degree. Like, if you're making comments like that, and then also you have like a bunch of homophobic and misogynistic emails and comments out there, like, it's probably not the best that you're out there making like the money. Like, you got to tone it back to an extent. Like, you can't, like, it sucks that our culture is so cancel. Like, you don't get a second chance at it, but like, you also have to be better.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's too quick cancel culture sometimes.
Yeah,
that's a whole different situation. In this regard, though, I mean, you're talking about, he had racist comments. Even if it is a joke, I could see that being kind of a joke. You don't joke about that in an email. Okay?
Yeah,
and you also don't call the dude DeMorris. Like, clearly, it's not a joke because you insulted him twice, with one of it being a racist insult. And then now it comes out that you're probably homophobic and misogynistic. Like, it's just not like a combo. So when it comes to cancel culture, I think it's warranted here. I think I think it's warranted in this regard because you don't want somebody like that, coaching, having an impact on other players. Now, again, he's coaching adults, not coaching at a college, so he doesn't have as much influence. But also, we can't be having somebody like that making $100 million. I mean, he signed a 10-year, $100 million contract to coach the Raiders.
Yeah.
So somebody like that who has those values does not deserve to have that, a dream job of coaching the NFL that so many people want, as well as making $100 million.
Yeah.
So in this sense, I'm okay with people jumping on him. I think it's the right move.
But then does that get into the whole aspect of like, he is a human, he is going to make mistakes, yeah, you're going to like slip up from time to time. And going back to what I've been like kind of drilling on, like, if he would have just handled this like as it came out and said, hey, like, yeah, I did say that, it was very like immature of me to say it, and I shouldn't have said it, but I did. I'd like to think I'm a different person than I am now. I think I've grown as a person to be better. Then I think, that would be different. But if you're dodging all the questions and you keep dodging everything, it just looks so bad on your part.
Well, I think it looks bad. I'm glad that you're focusing on this point, because it looks bad because it looks like it makes it look like you didn't grow as a person.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I completely agree with you. We all make mistakes. I think we've all been there. Comment where we're like, oh, that sounded a lot better in my head. I can understand how that probably wasn't what I should have said. Whether it be racist, whether it be sexist. I think we've all made those comments before.
Yeah.
absolutely, we all learn from our mistakes. Like you keep saying, he's very dismissive in it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about it anymore. I've already addressed it. It's 11 years ago. I'm confident in the person that I am and everything like that and everything I've done in my life. Him being dismissive with it gives us that appearance that he's not really taking, accountability and responsibility for his actions and comments. And B, he didn't change because it looks like he still has the same views.
Yeah.
By saying, like, I don't want to talk about it, that means that you don't want to have an open discussion about how your comments are hurtful to other people.
Exactly. And it's just
so
like
you didn't learn.
Yeah. And I just feel like it could have been handled a completely better way, and he probably would have still had his job and probably had to pay like a fine or something along those lines, or suspension.
Like go to sensitivity training or something like
something
that.
along those lines, but that just goes into he didn't would have accepted it as people, not necessarily, more, we would have definitely appreciated to hear him say,
more willing to work
like,
with.
I'm not that sick person. Yeah. Like anything along those lines. Like, if you're gonna make those comments and then just disregard it, you don't really need to be like in the NFL, just because, especially as a head coach, because holding that team to be what you. And so from the front office perspective, it's like, yo, we can't have that here, and we got a cat joining the convo.
So you saying we can't have it here? Are you talking about John Gruden's culture or the cattail?
Both. But like, you can't have that kind of culture, especially if you're a head coach. You're supposed to be setting like almost an example. Yes, you are coaching adults, and yeah, they should have a better sense of wrong from right. And there is always the aspect of, like, you're a human, you're going to make mistakes, but you got to be able to say, hey, I did make a mistake. You can't just disregard it as, it's whatever,
Yeah, it's accountability.
Yeah.
If you don't take accountability for your actions, then people are less likely to work with you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is it? So, like, as a society, we're like, it appears to be that, you're not going to take accountability for what you said. Therefore, like, why should we give you that second chance?
Exactly. And I mean, he's not the first coach to have a scandal like this come out, and he won't be the last one.
No. I think that's one thing we can bank on, is that,
like, there's also the whole thing with like Urban Meyer and his wife.
A way to smoothly go into that.
Slide into this real quick. But yeah, so if you ever
after my boy Urban,
I love Urban Meyer as a coach. Don't know him personally or anything like that, but yeah, some videos got leaked of hanging out. Man. I think it was at his pint house, right? Was it at?
So for those of you who don't know, he owns a restaurant and a pint house. I guess the pint house is the restaurant. In Central Ohio. He opened that up like pretty much right after he retired from coaching, right? Because he started going into like the admin side of athletics. So, and I still think that he'll end up being the AD at Ohio State at some point. I think he'll be the AD and Luke Fickell will be the head coach.
That'd be a dream, but yeah.
I like Ryan Day, but like I love Fickell.
Yeah,
I love Fickell,
dude.
But so he has a restaurant, Urban Meyer Pint House, and when his Jacksonville Jags came up to Cincinnati a couple of Thursdays ago and lost by the last second field goal, he stayed back. He didn't travel back to Jacksonville. He ended up driving from Cincinnati to Ohio because, if you guys don't know, his son actually plays baseball at University of Cincinnati. And I want to say it's his oldest daughter. Her husband is actually the quarterback coach at Ohio State.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think it's his oldest. It might be his middle.
I know it's one of the
I
daughters.
think it's his middle because she played volleyball at Georgia Tech, and he played football at Georgia Tech.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it's the middle. Anyway, his son-in-law is coaching at Ohio State, so they still live in Columbus. So he went from Cincinnati to Columbus to visit with family, spend time with the grandkids. Him and his wife did. And one night, was it Saturday night? I think it was Saturday night.
Saturday, yep.
Saturday night, he went out with a couple friends to his pint house, and there are videos of a girl grinding on him, dancing on him. He's sitting on a stool, leaning forward, arms are down. It looks from the one angle like he's like trying to block with his forearms her butt from touching his no square.
Yeah.
But then another angle, you can clearly see his hand go up her thigh and between her butt cheeks.
Yeah.
So either way, the picture that I just painted you in your mind, you can see how this isn't good.
Yeah, especially when you're married and
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, you're that's not your wife, you know. But I mean, like, I don't know. They might have some kind of agreement or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know their personal life. And
Yeah.
this is like kind of a sticky situation to get into because it's like, you know, if I was in that position, I wouldn't want people like getting into my personal life like that. But with the territory of being a head coach in the National Football League and
you're in the spotlight.
coach, you're in the spotlight. You know,
You shouldn't even be in that situation.
yeah. So like,
That's the thing. Like if somebody comes up to you, you have to tell them like, I'm sorry, like I'll take a picture with you or whatever, but like I'm here with my friends, like I don't want to be rude, but like I'm here with them.
yeah,
If they start like, that's what I've seen a lot of people. They're like, you know, it kind of looks like trying to deflect the situation and trying to like, you know, his forearms are there to prevent her from actually like touching him and whatever. But even if that is the case, like especially not even the fact that you're an NFL coach, but more the fact of like you're in a relationship, you are married for 30 plus years and have 3 kids and like 4 grandkids or whatever the number is for grandkids. You know, like out of respect for your significant other, you need to get up and leave that situation.
yeah,
Like, there shouldn't have been a video of this girl attempting to dance on you. You need to excuse yourself from that situation.
yeah.
So, and then following that situation, the Jags owner said he needs to earn back our trust. So, who knows? You know, Urban Meyer could be out in Jacksonville and headed to USC.
Honestly, maybe.
That's a rumor, dude. It's a rumor that he's sabotaging his time in Jacksonville because he didn't know how hard it was to be in the NFL.
I mean, that's possible though, because like, I mean, there is obviously.
I hate that it's possible. Like,
yeah,
that's
like, you know, we neither of us know what it's like to coach at that level. You know,
we can imagine it, but
yeah, we can imagine what it's like. It's definitely like high stress, and you know, you got to be on your stuff.
You do not see you don't see your family during the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, and then on top of that, I just remembered that the NFLPA is currently investigating Myer as well because he made comments that he cut players because they were not vaccinated.
Ooh. But then that's also like a sticky situation too, because like I feel like you can't force someone to get a vaccine if they don't want it due to like they might have a health concern with said vaccine, or you know, there might be a stipulation in there that, you know, hey, I can't get this vaccine due to X, Y, and Z, you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's just a whole mess because you can't force somebody, especially when like the NBA is forcing them to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
NFL is not. So if your league is not forcing you, then you can't uphold that as a team. So like, it's discrimination based on vaccination, which sounds really weird to say.
Yeah, but then like that could be coming from the front office though. They could be like, "Hey, we don't want players on the team if they're not
Unvaccinated." Which
So, like,
also, like, I'm sorry, but like, I understand that viewpoint. When you're looking at the NFL policies, it's if you're vaccinated and you're a close exposure, you're out for 2 days. If you're not vaccinated, you're a close exposure, you're out for 2 weeks.
yeah,
I mean, that's a big deal.
yeah,
Like, I do understand from the side of management as to why they're like, hey, we kind of want to keep all the vaccinated players. That allows us to not lose guys.
yeah. Especially for the 2 week period that they have in place for unvaccinated players. Like that's like saying I don't even like say Trevor Lawrence is like, yeah, I don't want to get vaccinated. You know, quarterback down. It is what it is. You know, like I don't know enough about Jacksonville to be like I know their roster freaking phenomenally or anything like that, but like
it's bad. I don't know how to describe it. Jimmy T should have got on it. That's all I'm saying.
Justin Fields as the quarterback though.
No, because he would die. He would die. He'd get murdered. I don't want that out of him.
Yeah.
It's just a sticky situation because it's two like not great situations at all.
It's not great situations at the same time, and it's like
are you discriminating against players? Like, did you actually cut people because they used their constitutional right to not get vaccinated?
Yeah.
And then the other situation is, are you trying to cheat on your wife?
Yeah, but I feel like the NFL shouldn't have too much play in the whole like, oh, you're cheating on your wife thing, just because like, I mean, that's kind of a personal.
No,
but
I mean, they can't do anything. But the issue is that the owner will do something because of the whole
media presence,
personal image.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be, oh, you're a cheater. Like, oh my gosh, like you're a terrible person. So like, you'll just get cast as a villain, and then they almost have to let him go.
Yeah,
because you don't want that negative presence around.
But I mean, it is a presence that, like, it's gonna be there no matter what. Like even if it's like a player, like I feel like most teams are pretty quick to like get on top of any like kind of controversy or drama going on with players and coaches.
I mean, the issue with the players though is that typically all that drama, it's okay, we're gonna cut you.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Or like if it's something serious, and it's like, or if it's, I mean, not necessarily, yeah, like something like Kareem that. Hunt? It's like, yeah, not going to be in the NFL, brother. Like,
imagine if Kareem Hunt, if that didn't happen and he was still with the Chiefs.
They wouldn't have lost their last 2 games.
Oh God, too soon. Too soon to be attacking the Chiefs. Like, they're already down. Just kick them all down.
I mean, but like, it's also like the image that the NFL wants. They want excellence on and off the field. That's the whole point of being an NFL player, is you are prestigious on the field and also off the field. Like,
absolutely. I mean, you're getting paid millions of dollars to either play or coach, so you might as well be good examples for everybody. I mean, think about how many kids look up to those NFL coaches and players.
Oh yeah. Like,
yeah, you need to be exemplary on and off the field.
Yeah.
I get it. I completely understand where the Jacksonville organization's coming from.
It's such a hard situation to be in, because you don't want to be like the dick of a front office and be like, hey, we're going to cut you because, you did this and this, even though you are like our staple name for a team. Like, we're still going to have to cut you just because of your off the field actions. That sucks. And, I feel like if you can like work out a suspension or something like that, it'd be better. And then, they can learn from that mistake, but if it's a constant like thing that keeps happening, then it's like, all right, at this point, like, you're obviously not working for the best You know, you're not showing
If it's a Vontez perfect,
who.
Bengals linebacker who was on the Raiders and he got getting suspended for helmet to helmet hits.
Oh yeah, I don't
Perfect.
remember that too much. Like I remember
It was
something
like
about it, but
it was like 5 seasons in a row he got suspended for helmet to helmet hits. So
yeah.
they like suspended him like all of last year.
Yeah, that's something that's like, okay, you need to change. Like that's just a safety thing, and
But
like
yeah, but that's an example of like you're obviously not playing to the expectations of being a good person.
yeah,
And you're refusing to change and refusing to learn, learning from your mistakes. So it'll
yeah,
be interesting what happens in sorry, I have the ALDS on. It was trying to tag up. Betts got thrown out at third. It was a really nice throw. It was a really nice throw. Myer caught it in center field and just canned the dude at third. That was really nice. Sorry.
Bro, that's a clean throw though.
Yeah, that's real nice.
And it's like split second too. But back to what we were talking about. It's just like at this point, like there needs you should as much as I don't want to be like, oh, there needs to be like a small like punishment and then like get progressively larger from there. Like I agree that should be a thing, but like also it depends on like severity of said like interaction that occurs, you know. Like if it's, oh hey, you beat your ex-girlfriend and now you beat your wife, and you know, then like we probably don't want you on the team just because of all that off the field drama you're bringing to the team, you know.
Well, it's not even off the field drama. It's at that point you're talking about domestic violence. You're breaking the law.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like
so. Yeah, there is a varying of degree because okay, like say Urban Meyer cheats on his wife, that's not breaking the law.
Yeah, like
Ray Rice beating up his girlfriend, that's domestic violence.
Yeah,
that's breaking the law.
Yeah, and
there's a difference.
Yeah, for sure. But like I feel like as some of these like celebrities, they do get like an almost like a extra treatment.
And they think they're immune to everything.
Yeah, but realistically,
it's partially because we put them on a pedestal.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of shitty as like a society. You know, we are all human. We do all make mistakes. But as humans, you know, we need to be learning from those mistakes and working to better ourselves, to then like better society and stuff like that. But like,
it's you got to learn from your mistakes, but like everybody needs to be held to the same standard.
Yeah,
that's the big thing is that if these high-end athletes cannot be held at a different standard.
Yeah,
it can't be like, oh, they get 3, 4, 5 chances while the average American gets 2.
Yeah,
like it's the same standard. That comes back to we're all human. Yeah, we all make mistakes, but we're all held to the same standard.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of, as like a common person, it's kind of like, oh hey, like you can get away with all this stuff because you're like a celebrity and you have all this like I don't want to say clout, but you have like all this hype around your name as far as like I'm a star for X team, I make X amount a year and like all that. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you're still a human, and if you're if you're acting in like mal ways towards like others, you should also be like, there should be a repercussion for that. You can't get off scotch free just because like on X, Y, and Z. Tom Brady, if it came out like Tom Brady did Like, I don't even know. Like, say Tom Brady was like beating his wife. I feel like he would get a better like sentence than if Joe Schmo like beat his wife, you know? Like, as bad as this is, and I don't want to think like want anyone to think like, oh, beating your wife is okay. That's not okay. You shouldn't like beat anyone really. Um, you know, I like it's there's not a whole lot of like evenness as far as like from celebrity repercussions to like the common man repercussions. And like with celebrities, we do put them on a pedestal, but yet we shouldn't be putting them on said pedestal just because, yeah, they're famous, but they're still human. They're going to make mistakes. And as long as they're accountable for said actions, then, you know, they should be able to re-earn our trust back, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just finally found the emails
Oh, you did?
that John Gruden sent.
Yeah.
So that's why my eyes were getting huge, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Not the fact that you're talking about domestic violence.
Yeah, that's
the
bad.
fact that I was like reading what he was saying. So I mean, a warning for language. He called Commissioner Roger Goodell a clueless anti-football pussy, and then claimed that he shouldn't have pressured St. Louis Rams coach at the time, Jeff Fisher, to draft queers in the league as they don't belong in the league. Yeah, and then he in 2017. So when was? It doesn't say when the other emails were, but in 2017, he made a comment about female referees and like sent a meme of a Hooters girl and said, "Nice job, Roger." Basically, just like saying that women don't deserve to be in the NFL. So,
Dude,
I think he is done.
he's done. He's out.
Like, there's no second chance.
Yeah, at this point, there's no second chance to get back into the NFL.
Dude, you're toast.
Maybe like a desperate college, but I don't think any.
I don't think any college is going to touch him unless it's USC.
Yeah, and that'll be like a last chance effort to get their program on the map, and then get rid of them after that. Yeah. But like that's also very sketchy if you're gonna go out for him to be your coach. I feel like there's a lot better options out there of coaches that, you know, we probably haven't heard of that would be able to coach at that level and be successful.
I guess he also said Eric Reed should have been fired for protesting during the national anthem. That whole thing, like, I don't like when people kneel during the national anthem. I think it's disrespectful. I think you can protest civil rights a lot better way. Like, I don't like when people disrespect the flag. Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah. Then again, I don't think they should be fired.
Yeah,
but what else does it say? He criticized a bill that would have forced the then Washington Redskins to change their name. And then he has openly attacked Caitlyn Jenner, Joe Biden, and Barack Obama.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna leave the whole political stuff to myself because I don't want to piss people off. Like, you guys don't care about my political opinions, and I don't care about yours. So I'm not gonna say anything about that. But also, like, I don't understand when people like openly like tweet about their feelings when it comes to.
Like, I don't think that's one thing people realize is that like the internet is kind of forever, low key. Like anything that you
can delete something, but somebody can get us.
You can
somebody
go back
can already get like a screen grab.
Yeah.
You know, like. So let's just run down. If you're still listening, let's just run down. He said that a black dude, he called him, his name is DeMorris, DeMaurice or DeMorris Smith, called him Dumb Morris Smith and said that he had lips the size of Michelin tires. So racist. He said slander against Caitlyn Jenner, who, if you guys don't know, formerly Bruce Jenner, transgender, man to woman. You can't change sex, you can change gender. I will argue you guys on that. I'm sorry, that's biology speaking. That's my biology background. You can change gender, you can't change sex. Yeah. So from man to woman. So slandered a transgender individual. Slandered women reffing, and then called Roger Goodell a clueless anti-football pussy, which I have choice words for Roger Goodell.
Yeah, same though.
I mean, I would just call him a dumbass, not...
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far to be like, I don't know. His comments are just like extra. Like they're not needed, and they're
he also said that queers shouldn't be in the NFL. Like they don't deserve and let's just point out his starting defensive end is the first openly gay player in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Like currently the only open gay player in the NFL. So and majority of his roster is black.
Yeah.
This clearly looks to be somebody who thinks they're above everybody else.
It's one of those things where it's like, it just looks bad on him. But like, if he would have, like I've been saying, if he would have just been like, hey, I've changed since then, and you can see
but I think this is too much. I think it's too much stuff to
he's plugged in, and he's almost to the center of the earth at this point. I don't see him coming out or making a comeback after this.
I said there's a bunch of emails. They've only quoted those, but they said like the emails are with former Washington football team president. So
Jesus.
Yeah, so somebody who's already like kicked out because of scandals and everything.
Yeah.
From 2010 to 2018, so like it's still recent.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
If it would have been like 2011, last one, and that was it. Like, so since everything just kind of came out a couple, 30 minutes, a little bit ago.
It's like an hour ago now is when it first started coming out.
If it was just that one email, and he would have taken accountability for it, I think he would have been fine, and said like, hey, I'm a changed person since then. But since there's more emails being released currently, and getting to the point where it's like 3 years ago, he's still making similar comments, then at that point it's okay. No, you can't do that.
So no. Worse. No.
Even worse.
Even worse. Dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
I mean,
but crazy. I mean, I'm sure in the next 36 hours, even more will come out about all this.
Sure. Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, what do you like? Like I can see most of the perspectives. I feel like coming into this, like front office wise, it's like, okay, this is a hazard. We need to handle this like ASAP,
Mm-hmm.
But with him dodging everything, it's not helping. There's a lot of tension on the Raiders as far as that goes. And it's not
I think what
publicity, and then
people need to realize now is, did they know that he was like this? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that room. I don't know what he put off. Like we said earlier, kind of always gave us this weird vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't want, if you're going to direct hate at the Raiders organization, not do it to the players.
Yeah.
If you're going to do anything, it has to be the front office because they're the ones that hired him. I hope that they don't boycott Raider games now because those players don't deserve that.
Yeah. They're not
Those
a part
players
of
are
this.
making a living. Okay, they are, obviously they have a very coveted job. We would all love that if we could do what they do.
Yeah.
But I hope, and I think society will do this. I hope that they embrace the players and any hatred goes towards the front office.
Yeah.
I just fear that's going to be a boycott the Raiders, and I think that's when we were touching on cancel culture, I think that would be like going too far.
Yeah. Like
Canceling the Raiders. No, you don't need to do that.
From what it appears, they've taken care of this situation. He's no longer the coach there, so there's really no reason to be even really giving the hatred toward the Raiders. If there is any hatred, it definitely shouldn't be going toward like the coaching staff and the players, because they might not even know. Oh, wait, he said that stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know how well he covered it up.
Yeah.
So I mean, if anything, these players, they could feel completely lied to.
Yeah.
They could feel bamboozled, hoodwinked. They could feel awful right now. Be like, oh, I thought that was somebody. That some of these guys, it could be like, my kids view him as an uncle or stuff like that. So no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be the last scandal we'll see. I think based on how everything's been handled, with him resigning, I think it's pretty much still water at this point. And now just doing any other cleanup, maybe checking in, see if any emails are with any of the Raiders front office or coaching staff.
Yeah, any current staff members. I mean,
and if there isn't any, then I think at that point, situation's been resolved and we should be, good to continue as, the Las Vegas Raiders. But if there does turn out to be more emails within the coaching staff and the front office, then at that point, then it's okay, might want to start looking at not supporting the Raiders. But it could go either way at this point. I think everything's still fresh and we're still trying to get more info on kind of what's going on. But
time will tell. I think at this point, it looks like there's anything that's going to happen, it's going to be from Roger Goodell, from the league.
Yeah.
It's going to be saying, Gruden, you're suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to coach. So, and I think I would back. I mean, I don't back a lot of things that Roger Goodell does.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I don't. But if he came out and said, after this investigation, after seeing how you treat people, what you think of other people behind closed doors, I'm going to make the executive decision for the league. It's not going to be organizations don't touch you because of that. It's going to be, I make the executive decision. You're no longer coaching this league ever.
Yeah. And overall, he does have the final say and what goes on in the NFL. The NFL does rule over all of 32 teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if that's his final decision and him and the other higher ups in the NFL find that to be, hey, we should do this. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few more scandals like this come out this year. Just because they found one coach, wouldn't shock me.
Probably another.
Yeah, there's probably another making the same comments. So I'm assuming this is going to kind of lead into a clear house for the NFL, especially from a PR perspective.
Which probably wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah. And I agree with that, as the NFL is a business, they do have to
find your rats.
Yeah, you got to find what's pulling you down and who's bringing bad attention to the business from there. And if no other coaches are found in the investigation. That's great, but I think this will kind of start if not a league-wide investigation, I'd say definitely some teams are going to look into some players and coaches and front office people, and just kind of, keep maintenance on, having a good PR perspective for, the public. It's the NFL, as much as, we're saying, it shouldn't be on a pedestal, it is something that a lot of younger people look up to and, strive to be one day, and if there's a lot of like racism or homophobia or anything like malpractices toward a certain group of people, then, you got to clear house at that point, as much as, it might hurt some people. Like you might see some stars from teams come out with scandals like that. And, it's going to suck not seeing them play again, but, it is a business and they are expected to be elite on and off the field, like we've been saying. So at this point, I gonna predict we are gonna see some more scandals pop up as far as coaching goes. Maybe front office players, stuff like that. But I think this is going to lead to kind of a league-wide investigation as far as who are we employing for these teams, and who isn't representing what we want as a league. So, I mean,
and I would also like to say, unfortunately, I think that this scandal has taken up our entire time, so we can't really touch on anything that really happened. As for the actual NFL, what's going on, I would say this. Chiefs appear to be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's a new sheriff in town. And his name is Josh Allen. He plays for the Buffalo Bills. But with that being said, I think we're out of time of that.
Yeah.
We've touched on some serious stuff. This one is not really one of our joke around about pig suey and all of that
fun,
stuff.
This one's more of a,
it's more of a real in your face, a real talk.
Yeah.
But like you said, hopefully the NFL learns from this and we move forward and we get better.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that we can do, if anything, it's weeding out the sus within the league, and that's can only mean better things for us moving forward, especially if we're seeing the NFL do this. We'll probably see like the MLB, NHL, all of the leagues, since we do put them on that pedestal, we want to see excellence from all of them. And I think that the NFL is taking the right move with the decisions they're making. And, it's for the best at the end of the day. We are people. We want to just better ourselves and better the community in which we're living in. So I think to end this out, I think our final wrap up would be treat people with respect behind closed doors. On the other side of
golden rule, dude. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Any way you can treat people, the way you'd want to be treated, man.
Golden rule.
Even if someone doesn't have the same views on life as you do, you guys don't have to share those same views, but at least be respectful toward one another. And
yeah, that's the thing. You can respect somebody that you disagree with. Yeah,
and that's all we can really ask for as people. We'll never all agree on one thing. But I think as long as we strive for better, nothing more we can really ask for. So I think right there, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll get a more joyful and energetic, happy episode coming up next week. Thanks for watching, or thanks for listening. Have a good one. See you guys.